Hello and welcome to this brief pre-recorded webinar that shares the background and history of the 2009 Future Directions of CTE Summit, the resulting vision document, and where you can go to learn more about the progress that's been made to accomplish the goals laid out in this vision and the challenges that still remain. Let's start by briefly looking back at 1917, when the federal government through the Smith-Hughes Act first began its investment in vocational education as a means to help prepare our nation's workers to transition from an agrarian to an industrial economy. For decades, these programs and their related federal investments focused on training individuals with specific skills for specific jobs. But as the 20th century wound down, vocational education was struggling to stay relevant. With a policy environment framed by a nation at risk and no child left behind, our attention increasingly focused on academic achievement and four-year college degrees. Vocational education saw student participation decline and in general fell out of favor with policymakers and the public alike. In response to the changing times, in the 1990s, vocational education changed its name to Career Technical Education, or CTE. For some, this represented a simple name change, but for our association, it represented the opportunity for transformation. And in 2000, our first vision statement, CTE, an essential component of the total educational system, sought to highlight the critical contributions that CTE could make to the emerging high school reform debates, and to define what CTE was and was not. Or put another way, it was important for us to showcase how CTE was or was going to be different than vocational education. Let's fast forward to 2009 when our organization's leadership recognized that CTE was facing a whole new array of even greater challenges. The flattening of the globe, opportunities brought about by advancements in technology, the dramatic shifts in the economy, to say nothing of the dynamic changes happening in the educational policy space. It was time to reconvene our state leaders and stakeholders to reflect on our past and to collectively chart a bold, shared agenda to propel CTE forward. So let's walk through the outcomes of the 2009 summit. Reflect, transform, lead, a new vision for career technical education. This vision is structured around 5 interconnected principles that define a broad statement of belief and are followed by specific action steps that we, the association, and the states endeavored to achieve. The vision charts the plan that will ensure that our nation remains competitive in the global economy, and that is the focus of our first principle. Global competition is shaping the way nations are structuring their education systems and preparing their workforce. This principle calls upon CTE to play a central role in our nation's competitiveness by meeting current demands and anticipating future needs of this dynamic global economy. It also calls for increased collaboration among education, economic development, and workforce development to ensure full alignment of policy goals and program delivery. These action steps are designed to ensure the rigor and quality in CTE, to raise the bar to both increase access to high-quality CTE and to debunk stereotypes, thus resulting in more students finding success. Our second principle highlights the unique and critical relationship that CTE has with the employer community. As the pace of change and rate of innovation increases, this principle calls for employers to be full partners in the design, delivery, and implementation of CTE, and for all of CTE, both secondary and post-secondary, to align programmatic offerings to current, emerging, and projected labor markets. Action steps aligned to this principle call for employers to guide CTE standards, curricula, credentials, and programs of study, and to ensure their currency. This next principle underscores the belief that the false dichotomy of preparation for work or college is simply no longer relevant. The global economy places a premium on skills acquisition and innovation. Therefore, all workers must be lifelong learners who continue to cultivate and grow their knowledge and skills through further education. This includes industry credentials, apprenticeships, post-secondary degrees, or post-secondary credentials. The simplicity of this principle hides the reality of how difficult a goal it really is to achieve. The fourth principle is about how we structure and deliver CTE programs to meet the goals and aspirations of the prior 3 principles. It calls for CTE to be delivered through comprehensive programs of study where standards, curriculum, and assessments are fully aligned across academic and technical disciplines and among secondary and post-secondary levels. Students need to be empowered to plan and prepare for a lifetime of career and educational choices and have increased access to work-based learning opportunities. And teachers and faculty, well, they need to regularly engage in workplace externships so that they can stay up to date in the industries in which they teach. The last principle underlies and reinforces all the others. It embraces the critical importance of accountability, data-driven decisions, and the necessity for CTE to demonstrate a positive return on investment. In an era of accountability, data must be used to diagnose what's working and what isn't, and to direct our investments accordingly. To get access to the right data was and still is a tall order that's both costly and requires significant collaboration among education and workforce agencies, state and federal agencies, as well as the elimination of significant legal barriers. Having access to the right data is just one piece of this principle's aspirations. Effectively using that data is another and just as important. If we want to gain support for and scale up successful CTE programs, we must achieve the goals of this principle. So where are we 5 years later? To chart our progress, we've recently released a series of 5 reports focusing on the collective accomplishments, lingering challenges, and roadblocks to advancing CTE to its full potential. You can download those reports, one for each principle, as well as the 2009 vision and the accompanying vision toolkit at the URL on the screen in front of you. It is with these successes and unfinished work in mind that we turn our attention to the future. While there's no question that CTE is gaining in popularity and growing in strength and quality, there is simply more work that we can do, which is why we will be hosting an invitation-only Future of CTE Summit in October of 2015 in partnership with 8 national co-conveners representing leaders and stakeholders from an array of public and private sectors. We're so excited to engage with these partners in asking the tough questions and rolling up our sleeves to work together to build solutions. Stay tuned because the outcomes of the 2015 Future of CTE Summit will be unveiled in May of 2016. To learn more about the 2009 vision, the Future of CTE Summit occurring this October, and career technical education, we encourage you to check out our website, www.careertech.org. Thank you for listening and have a great day.